Any router supports static routers support Easy IP NIT. What is Easy IP NIT? Easy IP NIT enables a NIT device to use a public network interface's IP address as an IP address in an address pool, and assign the IP address to a private network user so that the user can access the Internet. Easy IP NIT is applicable when only a few public IP addresses are available. Next, let's look at the networking of Easy IP NIT. As shown in the figure, Internet users access the Internet. The NIT device translates the private IP address of an Internet user into an IP address of a public network interface. Then the user accesses the Internet. The NIT device's Interface 1 connects to the Internet and Interface 2 connects to the Internet. The enterprise has only the single public IP address 11.2.3.4. The IP address of the network-side peer device connected to the NIT device is 11.2.3.5. The following requirements must be met. 1. Within the enterprise network, PCs on network segment 192.168.10.0 with a mask length of 24 can access the Internet, but PCs on other network segments cannot. 2. The NIT device performs address translation only for the public IP address 11.2.3.4. Before configuring the NIT device, let's look at the configuration roadmap. Step 1. Configure basic NIT functions. 1. Create a NIT instance. 2. Assign an IP address to an outbound interface. 3. Configure the mapping between the outbound interface and an address pool. Step 2. Configure and apply a NIT traffic diversion policy. As mentioned in the networking requirements section, computers on the internal network segment 192.168.10.0/24 can access the Internet, but computers on the other network segments cannot. To implement this function, configure ACL 3001 and enter the ACL view. Create ACL Rule 1 to only allow the users whose source IP addresses are on network segment 192.168.10.0 with the mask length of 24 to access the Internet through NIT. In this example, outbound interface traffic diversion is used. Packets matching ACL 3001 in a traffic diversion policy are diverted to a NIT service board. The NIT service board allocates IP addresses in the NIT address pool named Group 1 to the packets. Apply the ACL-based traffic classification policy to the outbound interface GE 0/1/1. Step 3. Configure a default route and set its next hop IP address to 11.2.3.5. Now let's move on and learn how to configure the NIT device. Step 1. Create a NIT instance with ID 1. Configure the optional parameter Simple Configuration to configure a simplified NIT instance. Step 2. Assign an IP address to an outbound interface. Access the view of GE 0/1/1 and then set the IP address and mask length to 11.2.3.4 and 24 respectively. Step 3. Configure an address pool named Group 1 to reuse the IP address of GE 0/1/1. So far, a NIT instance named NIT1 has been created, and the address pool has been configured to include the outbound interface's IP address. Next, let's see how to configure and apply a NIT traffic conversion policy. Configure an ACL numbered 3001 in Rule 1 to only allow hosts on network segment 192.168.10.0/24 to access the Internet. Apply the ACL-based traffic classification policy to the outbound interface GE 0/1/1. At last, configure a static route and set its next hop IP address to 11.2.3.5.